The North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD, intercepted 2 Russian and 2 Chinese bombers flying near Alaska. This is the first time the 2 countries have been intercepted while operating together. According to a statement from NORAD, the bombers remained in international airspace in Alaska's Air Defense Identification Zone, ADIZ, and were not seen as a threat. The U.S. and Canada, which together comprise NORAD, intercepted the Russian Tu-95 Bear and Chinese H-6 bombers, which were escorted by Russian Su-30SM and Su-35S fighters. Both Tu-95 and H-6 are nuke delivery-capable strategic platforms. It also marks the first time H-6 bombers, which are a derivative of older Soviet bombers, have entered the Alaska ADIZ. The intercept was carried out by U.S. F-16 and F-35 fighter jets and Canadian CF-18 fighter jets, supported by several other assets. In this video, Defense Updates reports on NORAD interception of Russian and Chinese bombers near Alaska. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted VPN brands worldwide that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte, an industry-leading Big Four auditing firm. NordVPN provides an encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy by preventing external entry to your internet traffic, as well as enabling you to access content that's blocked based on geolocation. Best of all, with one NordVPN account, you can secure up to 6 devices at the same time. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive savings by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Chinese tried to downplay this. China's defense ministry said the Chinese and Russian air forces had organized a joint strategic aerial patrol in the relevant airspace of the Bering Sea as part of an existing annual cooperation plan between the 2 militaries. Zhang Zhaogang, a spokesperson for the ministry, told a news conference it was the 8th such patrol organized by the 2 militaries since 2019, which was aimed at further testing and enhancing the level of cooperation between the 2 air forces, as well as deepening strategic mutual trust and practical cooperation between the 2 countries. Zhang said, "This action is not aimed at third parties, it's in line with relevant international laws and international practices, and has nothing to do with the current international and regional situation." Russia also refrained from any escalatory statement. The Russian Defense Ministry said the joint air patrol flew over the northern Pacific Ocean, including the narrow Bering Strait that separates eastern Russia from Alaska. The ministry said in a statement that the Russian and Chinese crews worked out issues of cooperation during all stages of the air patrol in the new area of joint actions. Video released by the Russian Defense Ministry shows the bombers flying together, as well as the intercept by U.S. and Canadian aircraft. Russia insisted the exercise was part of the 2024 military cooperation plan and not directed against third countries. Asked if the interception was an example of Russia and China testing the U.S. in the wake of President Joe Biden's decision to pull out of the 2024 presidential race, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said that Russia and China are always testing us. He said at a press conference at the Pentagon, "As to whether or not our adversaries are testing us at this particular time, they're always testing us, and that's no surprise to any of us." Austin said the Russian and Chinese aircraft approaching U.S. airspace was not a surprise to us. He noted, "We closely monitored these aircraft, tracked the aircraft, intercepted the aircraft, which demonstrates that our forces are at the ready all the time, and we have very good surveillance capabilities." Austin also stated the closest point of approach of the Russian and Chinese aircraft to the U.S. was about 200 miles off our coast. He added, "If there's any kind of challenge from any direction, I have every confidence that Northcom and NORAD will be at the ready and will be able to intercept." He also reiterated that the U.S. is concerned about the growing relationship between Russia and China, mostly because we're concerned about China providing support to Russia's illegal and unnecessary war in Ukraine. While Secretary Austin has not publicly shown any major concerns, it's assumed that internally the U.S. military will be wary of this development, especially when it comes to Chinese involvement. In March, the head of U.S. Northern Command, General Gregory Giat, said China was pushing farther north into the Arctic and he expected to see aircraft there as soon as this year, potentially. Giat told a hearing of the Senate Armed Services Committee, "What I've seen is a willingness and a desire by the Chinese to act up there. We've seen them in the maritime, we've seen them under the cloud of a technical or scientific research, but I think it's certainly multi-mission, including military. And then I expect to see air activity in the Alaska part of the Arctic as soon as this year, potentially. It's a very big concern of mine." Senator Dan Sullivan, in a statement, said, "Alaska continues to be on the front lines of the authoritarian aggression by the dictators in Russia and China who are increasingly working together." As the Arctic ice cap melts, navigating the region is becoming economically viable. Rivals like Russia are preparing to monetize the potentially lucrative Northern Sea Route, or NSR, as the Barents Sea and Arctic thaw faster than anticipated. The NSR offers a significantly shorter shipping distance between Europe and Asia compared to alternative routes. By utilizing the NSR, shipping companies can save time and fuel costs, making it an attractive option for international trade. This route could make connectivity between Europe and Asia 40% faster, cheaper, more fuel-efficient, and greener. The melting ice has also opened up new possibilities for resource exploration and extraction in the region. It's interesting to note that Russia will lose land as the ice melts, but it may gain nearly 1.2 million square kilometers in its continental shelf, which means it will have rights to extract undersea minerals and energy resources. China considers itself a near-Arctic state and has worked to expand its presence in the far north, including through its cooperation with Russia. So there's a huge game going on. There's a lot at stake. Russia and China are making their intentions clear and trying to assert themselves in the region.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.